Games for specific wrestling development. Games can create a fun and competitive environment for the athletes. They can help athletes develop many aspects in sport: coordination, quickness, strength, and so on. Games can also be used to reinforce good behaviors and hard work during practice. All the games shown here can fit into many different categories. The types of games to be used for development of the athlete are balance and body control games, quickness and change of direction games, and strength games. Balance is distributing your weight evenly to maintain control of your body. Balance directly correlates with agility. And balance is essential in sports which require the athlete to react quickly. Without body control, an athlete will not be successful. These games will improve the athlete's quickness. Athletes that develop quickness in different directions will improve in their sport. Strength is a very important aspect in wrestling. The games listed will help the athletes to develop strength in very important areas while having fun.
The leg slap game is a very good game for when you start off your season or your practices. It's good for teaching hand fighting. It's good for teaching body position and stance and movement. The way the game is structured, you can break your team up in partners, and the goal is to slap the other person's leg. And you can have it games up to 2 or 3, and then you can switch partners so you can have a variety of partners. We're going to look at a couple of leg situation games. First leg situation game where each person has their partner's leg. You can do this game on the feet or on the knees. The goal or the objective of the game is the person is going to be trying to get around behind his or her partner. So you can start, you can have a time limit, 30 seconds or 15 seconds or a minute, and then you say go, and then the person's trying to get behind. The other leg situation game is one's on attack and the other one's kind of defending, where one will have the leg, good grip on the leg, and the other person will be on a defensive situation. On the whistle, they'll both try to get behind the other person, and after the first 30 seconds or so, then you switch positions and the other person has a try at it. Sumo game is one done again in partners, and it's done on the feet. You can have them distributed all out throughout the mat, depending on how much space you have, but they do need a little bit of room, and they need a circle or a boundary where they have to push each other out. They start in the center of a circle, and the goal is to push the other person outside of the circle. The first game we're going to look at is break down the table game. In this game, break your team up in partners. One's on all fours and the other person will be on top, and the goal or the objective of the game is the top person is going to try to flatten out the bottom person. So the bottom person is somewhat like a table, and the top one person has to break them down any way they can, trying to get them to their stomach and hold them in that position. The spin game will have your team broken up in partners, where one will start on their hands and knees and the other one will start in contact with the bottom person, slightly on the feet with their chest touching the back. They'll be directly in front. And on the whistle, the person that's in front is going to try to get behind, spin behind their partner. The person on the bottom position, they'll use their hands and their movement to keep the person in front of them. It's important to give each wrestler a turn at each position. British Bulldog is played with all of the participants on their hands and knees. You line up the whole team on one side of the mat, and then you select one person that goes in the middle of the mat, and he's the Bulldog. He'll yell out British Bulldog, and then all of the athletes, all the wrestlers will have to crawl on their hands and knees to the other side to be safe. The person in the middle will stop somebody and try to turn them on their back. Once they turn somebody onto their back, that person joins them. Horse riding, you break your team into partners. One person's on their hands and knees and he's or she's the horse. The other person can't be touching the mat and will sit onto the horse, will be the rider, and the horse's goal is to knock the person off his back and while staying on his knees, and the person on top, his goal is to try to stay on top of the horse. With horseback fights, you have your team and partners. One's the horse, one's on top, and the horse and the rider are a team, and they're going to try to knock the other team's riders off their horse. You have your team partnered up with someone the same size, age, and gender. You'll have one of the partners on one side of the mat and the other on the other side. You'll give each of them a number. So one set of partners will be a 1, next set will be a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5, all the way through until everybody has a number. You put an object in the center of the mat. It could be a ball or a towel. Then the coach will call out a number, and whoever has that number will race out and fight for that object and bring it back to their team members. This can continue on until you go through each person on the team. You can change your object as the game goes on. It's up to the coach, and this game can go for quite some time.
All drills, games, and exercises shown in this production are designed to develop fundamental skills in the sport of amateur or Olympic-style wrestling. It is important to execute them with proper technique and under trained supervision in order to avoid possible injury.